Well, greetings once again, YouTubers and followers of This Old Sword. Yes, it's me, This Old Sword, bringing you another TwoSun knife, a newer design by Wong, Dexian Wong. I butchered his first name, but I believe you know who I mean, because he, along with Night Morning, have probably designed the most TwoSun knives collectively. And here we are with yet another one. And I got to tell you right up front, I am impressed with this knife. I think at White Mountain it was coming in, and these aren't fixed prices. They sort of vary with market prices, according to Justin up there in New Hampshire at White Mountain. So I think he was asking $115. You get your 10% off with Old Sword discount, and yeah, brings it down a little bit. So you can also get these on eBay if you decide to be patient enough to bid and wait the time it takes to ship it to you. One thing I'll say for White Mountain is that they get them right out to you. There's no shipping charge, and there is no tax. So there you go. It's a win-win. Let's get back to the knife. Beautiful ergos on this knife. I was attracted to it through the photograph initially by the design. It's that kind of a triangular shaped spear arrowhead design. They made this one out of 14C28N. There's been a run of D2s lately. We're surmising there might have been a materials shortage. This could have been an older one, meaning a month back or so. I don't know. But I am so pleased with all the materials, the fit and the finish, and the ergos are amazing. I'm going to get the specs out of the way real quick first, and then we're going to take a much deeper dive into this knife. So, you'll see these pop up on the screen. This is the TS286 by Wong Design. It is 4.8 ounces. It has an overall length of 8.25. These are my own measurements, by the way. Figured I would spare you the ordeal of bringing out tape measures and measuring devices, unless that's entertaining, and I can continue doing that up the line. So overall length, 8.25 inches. A blade length, listen to this, 3.75. So they're squeezing a lot of blade into that overall length, which is very interesting. We got a handle thickness of 0.60, so sounds very big, but very contoured. That's really just at the hump in the middle of the handle that you've got that 0.60. We have a blade thickness, stout 4.2 millimeters. You can see that, and it does taper pretty radically to the tip, but evenly. And what else have we got? I did say 4.8 ounces, so it's under 5 ounces for a 3.75 inch blade. And that's a good thing. If I missed any specs, you'll see them up on the screen as this is running and you're watching it now. Titanium bolsters that are stone washed, a beautiful look. A green, it looks like a canvas micarta or similar material. The fit against the titanium is very smooth, can't feel anything. Visibly, it looks like a slight gap there, and there may be a slight gap, but I can't feel anything. So that may be filled in with resin or glue or what have you, but it's really not bad at this price point. The frame is titanium. Let's get the old magnet out. Yeah, and the backspacer is titanium. The clip is titanium. The hardware is steel. And let's talk about the ergos that I was bringing up earlier. So look at the scallops on the knife. Call them finger grooves if you want. So there's one, and there's one. So saber grip, just like that. Beautiful roundness in the handle, contouring, really just melts it into your hand. The clip lies fairly low, and I don't feel it as a hot spot at all. Tried it in and out of the pocket a bunch of times. That ramp works extremely well in the pocket. Out of the pocket, just a little bit of a bump when you pull it over the seam of your jeans, depending upon what you're wearing. It is what we're going to call a bolster lock, because we've got handle material covering that frame lock on both sides. And my take on bolster lock is simply that it's a frame lock that has part of it hidden. There's your 2 screws for your hardened steel insert. The action is, once we can get it over the detent hump, very smooth and drop shut. It's a flipper only. There is some fine jimping, just a short run of it there on the flipper tab. The flipper tab really doesn't stick up too high, and guess what? You can push button it. So you can light switch it, you can push button it, and you land in that nice little groove there, that nice little swale. Detent's right there. Yeah, has a little trouble getting over it, but you know, I think that's going to create its own track eventually in the blade. I don't see that as a problem. We've got a lanyard hole up in the frame. We've got about a half length back spacer. I love the materials, and a little more about the ergos. So here we've got some jimping and a thumb ramp way out there on the blade. So I love the feel of being able to extend my thumb all the way out like that. And yes, a shallow but wide finger choil in the blade. So you can pinch right up in here. Middle finger is locked behind the flipper tab on that guard, and it locks right into your hand, whether it's for fine work, you know, or what have you. I like the what have you sometimes. And, you know, your thumb's still working on that jimping even when you're choked up like that. That's a beautiful thing. So 3.75-inch blade, and let's look at the ratio of, get the light in there. They have brought that blade out about as far as you can, and it is deep set, so there is no danger of picking up the tip with your thumb as there is on many knives. And a lot of people have been bitten. Maybe you have. Split that finger right open as you reach in your pants pocket for it, but not with this one. Really a handsome knife. And again, I can't get over the ergos, how many different positions you can hold that in. Let's take a look at point down. And oh yeah, really nice rounded pommel that you can cap your thumb right over. That's going to work very well for that. And I suppose if you wanted to get fancy, you could even choke up there. I wouldn't. Not really the place to go. So let's take a look at it next to a few other knives. And today I've selected one other TwoSun. This is the TS301, so a very popular TwoSun of late, a Mazwan Mokhtar design. I know Bob DeMarco likes his. So we're talking about a little longer overall than the 301. See if we can even them up here. So yeah, about a half-inch longer overall, I'm guesstimating, than the TS301. TS301 is a beautiful knife. More of a lighter brown on that handle material with the carbon fiber bolster. And here is the Begleiter 2 by Kaiser. A really beautiful little EDC knife with that longitudinal grain to the carbon fiber. very unusual in budget knives. And that's going to be a good deal smaller, shorter, and certainly not as tall as the TS286. And why not? Here's the Griptilian, for those of you that measure by the Benchmade products. And it is a little bit shorter overall. And again, if we change the perspective, we've got that. Taller knife and a little longer. I like the size. It is, I think, a perfect size for EDC, tactical use, what have you. And again, it just lends itself to so many grips. The steel, I'm very okay with. 14C28N, you know, a lot of steels that aren't M390 these days, or CTS XHP or what have you, seem to get a bad rap, you know, if it isn't S90V, etc., etc. You know, those are all names. Let's face it, those are all names. We look for the buzzwords. If you use your knife a lot, you resharpen it a lot, then you're going to be able to start telling the difference. If it sees light EDC, daily use, I don't think that's going to be a problem. And I'm told that 14C28N was made specifically for cutlery, whereas many of the other steels we're using in knives were not necessarily. Not all of them, but some. Okay, I'm going to get off of that track. However, here's another look at this beauty, and these are available, I think, as of today. There's still a few out there at White Mountain. So if you want to take a look and grab one, definitely use that discount code, Old Sword. Get your 10% off. But stonewashed finish, that's one thing that there were complaints about with the Sandvik steel from TwoSun back some time ago, was that you could see little micro scratches on it. We don't know whether that was in the final handling or what, but they're using the stonewash finish on many of their Sandvik blades, and doesn't show fingerprints, doesn't show any scratches. Quite nice. And you've got that really almost rustic look of that green micarta and the stonewash bolster. Beautiful. I mean, great materials. One of the best ergos on a knife that I've found recently, and certainly amongst some of the best ergos on a TwoSun that I've experienced lately. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that review. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. We'll be back with more new stuff soon. Take care.